Right. Good morning. Good evening, everyone. Able to hear me? So, what we are discussing in last class? Let's recollect. Yeah, we are discussing rules of method of overriding, right? How many rules are there? Uh, right, we have four rules. If the method in subclass and superclass having the same signature, then they are called what? Overriding method. Okay, if a method has same signature, they are called overriding method. Next, if method is considered as a overriding method, then the rules, there are four rules are there. These four rules you must verify. The method with the return type must be same or must be covariant. Okay, so now the result is, the method is what? So return type must be same or can be covariant. Yesterday we discussed same return type, right? Return type must be same, we discussed. Now we will discuss about covariant return. Okay, a little while later, not now, immediately. So that is a separate feature. I will discuss it. I don't want to deviate no discussion. Okay, I'll discuss that point little later. So now let's continue. So now I'm moving to the next rule. First rule, I hope all you understand. Second rule is execution level modifier. How many execution level modifiers are there? Come on. How many execution level modifiers are there? We have execution level modifiers, Pankaj. I'm not asking accessibility. How many execution level modifiers? 8 execution level modifiers are there. Okay, what are they? Static, final, abstract, native, transient, volatile, synchronized, strict FP. So totally 8 execution level modifiers are there. Among these 8 execution level modifiers, we have the strict rule on static and we have rule on final. Okay, static and final. So these are the two keywords having rules. Remaining keywords doesn't have any remaining keywords don't have any rules. Now we need to understand static and final. So now I'm declaring it as static. If super class method is declared as a static, you must override that method in the subclass as a static only. Okay, if you declare super class method as a non-static, you must override that method in the subclass as a non-static only. That means you cannot add or remove static keyword. If you try to add static or remove static, compiler will throw error. So now I'm adding static keyword. Let's see, compiler throw error. Okay, compiler throwing error. Rule M1 in B cannot override M1 in A. Overriding method is static. Overriding method is static. Clear my point? Why this rule? Now again go to user class, you will get clarity. In user class, when you call M1 method by using what you type A1. Okay, now we'll go to the A class. I found A class is what method? Non-static method. Okay, then now this method will take the inputs as what type object. Then I thought of my inputs need to pass. I place all objects, I place all values in this object and I'm passing as a current object to M1 method. I thought of this M1 method will take the values from this object and execute from class B. So what the meaning of A1.M1? Execute M1 method from class B with the values available in the class B. With the values available in the object B. Again repeating, what the meaning of this statement? Search for M1 method in class A. If we available as a non-static, execute from class B with the values available in this B. Non-static method executed with the values available in object only now. Then that is what my expectation. In future, subclass programmer came into picture and he overridden a method as a static. Then is this method take object as an argument? No. It cannot take because it's a static. Then whatever the values I have given in this object are not accepting by this object, I'm not getting the expected result. So there is a contract missing, then compiler throwing error. Okay, M1B cannot be overridden in overriding method is static. So compiler throwing error. Babu, user programmer expecting this method to be non-static, but you are converting as static. In future, you will not get object. So I'm telling the rule and reason behind the rule. Don't confuse. Don't confuse. I'm telling the rule and reason behind the rule. I am telling. Don't confuse. Clear my point. Then next. Now I'm removing static. Now you apply. Now you apply. Now you apply. Now here superclass is static. Now I am overriding this method as a non-static. Allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. Why not allowed? This method is a non-static. Okay. This method execution expecting what? This method expecting execution, expecting object, but superclass is telling I will not take object. So there is a contract. Okay, there is a controversy from superclass method to subclass method, and then compiler throwing error. Generally, whenever we are teaching method overriding rules, what we say that if superclass method is static, subclass method also must be static. If superclass method is non-static, subclass method also must be non-static. Otherwise, compiler will throw error. Why compiler throw error? By keeping what future problems keeping in the mind a compiler throwing error? Is a compiler mad fellow? Is a compiler pagal to throw error for everything? Right? No, right? Compiler has some reason behind that. Reasons you must know. That is what our target. Along with the learning, I told you in the first day of the course, I will make you understand every reason behind the rule. I will not just tell you the rules. I will not just tell you the concept. The reason behind the concept, the reason behind the rule also I'll tell you. I promise you I'm doing that. Okay, now you need to understand the problem. Okay, so inventor ask a question, Bhai, if you declare a static, why can't I change to non-static? If I declare as a non-static, why can't I add to static? If they ask, you must tell this explanation. If you tell this explanation, interviewer definitely ask a question. Na? What interviewer ask a question? Are you fresher or experienced? Right? Are you fresher or experienced? Where did you learn on this point? Because these points are not there. These points are not there in any textbook. These points are not there in a website, right? Where did you learn all these points? Obviously, it's an Naresh HK product. I am HK product, right? So that's where I'm telling you, interviewers will easily identify you. You are from Naresh HK product, okay? So I proudly say that, no doubt in that, okay? I proudly say that, no doubt in that, okay? I'll make you different from others. Fine. So up to now, I hope you understand. Then now let's move to the next point. You know, after these topics completed, we will start Java 8 new features. Okay, after OOPS completed, we will learn Java 8 new features, lambda expression, method reference. Okay, lambda expression, method reference, constructor reference, default method, static method interface. Okay, Java 8 new features we are going to learn. There, I'm going to talk, you know, more details about lambda expression, which is generally not found. Okay, not found, only found by the people who no, there's some terminology is there above. Okay, some terminology is there, some internals are there that we are going to learn very deeply, right? So don't miss that Java 8 new features. Okay, right. Currently, our Naresh IT faculty members are taking Java 8 new feature, Java 5 new features. Please watch those videos and enjoy them and get some knowledge. And when we are discussing, okay, some more one or new points are maybe added. So, or one or two points may be missing. Maybe examples are changing. Java 8 features are having very much craze. Java 8 features are having very much craze in the market. So you must minimum 2 to 3 times you need to do revision. So now already, Venkatesh sir is taking the Java 8 new features. Just go and watch and revise it. When I'm teaching again, you participate and try to tell me what I'm missing, what I'm adding. You can see that. Clear my point? So Venkatesh sir already taking videos. Just check once. Okay, fine. So tell me, all the people understand this rule? Next, come to the final. What the meaning of final? What the meaning of final? Final means final. Don't override. Final means final. Don't override. If you try to override final method, compiler will throw error. M1 in B cannot override M1 in A. Overridden method is final. So superclass don't want allow subclass to override the method. Superclass want to force the subclass reuse the method. So then next in a subclass now I am adding final. Tell me now. This method is a not final method. Now I am adding final to that method. Allowed or not allowed? Come on. Allowed or not allowed? Allowed. No problem. Compile successfully. I don't want further my subclasses to override. I overridden superclass method logic. Further subclasses I don't want to override. Glass. Is this clear? So final method, right? We can if superclass method is non-final, subclass method can override it as final, no problem. Compiled. So the meaning of final method, it's a further subclasses should not override. It has a further subclasses, child subclasses, na? Those classes should not override that method. That is the rule. For example, your father, take your grandfather factory. Okay, your grandfather has not created any rules, any schemes. Then your father created some schemes and he's got a doubt. Maybe further subclasses may change it. Okay. For example, best example, Andhra, maybe I should talk or should not talk, I don't know. Let me talk, no problem. Andhra divided and Amaravati capital. Chandrababu Naidu forgot to register it properly. Then Jagannath came. Now they are going to shift they're going to shift the capital to Vizag, right? Why all these things? Proper registration, proper rules are not applied, right? Yes or no? That type of example. Okay. So superclass, first person has not declared as a final. You are allowed to override. You given a chance for me to override. Then I am overriding. One government created rules and guidelines. Second rule is second second government, next coming government is trying to change. Yeah, change it. But further one more government is coming. Third government, class C. Okay, third government is coming. Tell me, now Jagan decided should not allow next government to modify. Okay, next government should not modify, he decided. Then what he did? Now making it a perfect registrations all he is doing. All right, next government cannot change. So this is called what? Final. Okay, fine. Now I move to the next point. The next modifier is what? Static. I hope you understand. If superclass method is static, subclass must be static. If a superclass method is non-static, subclass must be non-static. You cannot change static to non-static, non-static to static. Next, if a superclass method is final, subclass cannot override. If you try, compiler throw error. And if a superclass is a non-final, subclass can override as non-final or can override as what? Final, both. Next, now superclass method, next modifier I'm taking abstract. Okay, static, final, abstract I am taking. Tell me, this abstract modifier meaning is what? I don't write logic. Abstract means hide the implementation. I don't write logic. My subclass will write logic. More details about this I will discuss in abstraction topic. Okay, don't ask that one. What is abstract, sir? What is abstract class, sir? Don't raise the questions. Don't deviate. Current topic is only understanding overriding rules. So complete details about abstract and abstraction I'll discuss in the next inheritance topic. Right. Abstract class A, abstract void M1 method we have declared. Then in a subclass, now class B came into picture. Now it is overriding this abstract method as abstract method only. Is it allowed or not? Overriding as abstract method only. Can I override or not? Yes, I can take it as abstract. Abstract method I'm overriding as abstract method only. But you must declare this class also abstract. If you declare class as abstract, you cannot create object. So I'm not talking about object, no? Right, compiler throw error. Compile successfully. I can override abstract method as a abstract method. Can I override abstract method as a non-abstract method? If you are overriding method as a non-abstract means concrete method. Concrete method is what? Non-abstract method. Then no need to declare class as a abstract. Okay. And next, no need to okay, no need to declare no need to, I mean, we are allowed to create object from the class B, no problem. Now to look at the compile successfully, and now it is executing from which class? System dot out dot println of system dot out dot println of double quotes M1 from class B. Control 1 method is executed because it's a overriding method executing from subclass M1 from class B, current object. Okay, I can override abstract method as abstract. I can override abstract method as non-abstract. Okay, now I'm taking something like this. I'm taking this method as concrete and a non-abstract. Now I'm overriding that method as abstract in the subclass. Allowed? I'm overriding it as an abstract in subclass. Is it allowed? Yes, allowed. Okay, my parent has earned lot of money. My father has earned lot of money for me and given that money to me. My father has earned lot of money for me. All work he done, all operations he done, all setup completed. Then I'm taking that entire money and not giving that money to my subclass. Okay, further subclass, class C child is coming, further subclasses. From the B, further my son is coming. Okay, now what am I telling? No, my dear son, whatever my grandfather given, everything I am abstracting. I don't want to give to you. Everything I'm abstracting. You go and implement again. I want to force the subclasses to implement this super class method in the subclass. Then what to do? Convert concrete method as what? Abstract. So what the difference between final and abstract? Abstract is telling that you must override. Final is telling that don't override. Opposite. Both are opposite. If you declare method as a final, array child, you don't override, just you reuse whatever the logic I have given. Okay. Then next, if you take method as a final, it is telling that if you take method as abstract, array subclass programmer, I'm not writing any logic, you write the logic. Super class method is a non-final, already logic is given. Now I don't want to allow my subclass programmer to reuse that logic. I want to force the subclass to implement that logic. Then override the super class method as a abstract. Gone. Completed. Okay. Next, super class has already given method. I don't want to allow subclasses. I don't want to allow subclasses to override super class method according to their wish. I want to stop them to override. I want to force them to reuse. Then declare super class method override by declaring as what? Final. Are you catching my point? I can override final method as a non-final method as a final to stop subclasses to override that method again. I can convert superclass method, non-abstract method as abstract method to force the subclasses to implement that method at any cost. Like that, I can do both conversions. Okay, let me prepare a small table here so that you will get clarity. What the keywords I'm taking: static, final, abstract, static, final, abstract, native, transient, volatile, synchronized, strict TFP. These are the 8 modifiers we have. Okay, now as what method you are allowed to override, as what method you are not allowed to override. Let us try to understand. Static, uh, table will not work. Let me try to write like this. Separately let me write. Separately let me write. Static and then what? Non-static. Static, non-static. Then tell me. I will take both are separately. Then tell me now. Static to non-static, not possible. Non-static to static, possible. Sorry. Non-static to static also not possible. Static to static only possible. Right? Non-static to non-static only possible. Point number 1. Everyone understand, I hope? This is the first story. The next tell me. Final keyword. Final keyword. Final to non-final. Final to non-final. Tell me. How final to non-final allowed? Am I allowed to override final to non-final? Yes. Non-final to final? Non-final to final? Yes. Both are allowed. Can I override final as final? Yes. Can I over non-final as a non-final? Yes. Same type is always allowed. Okay. Now we need to understand opposite. Okay. Same type is not always allowed. Opposite only you have to think about it. Then next keyword, abstract. Okay. Abstract is also no objection. Abstract to non-abstract. What the meaning of non-abstract? Non-abstract means concrete, right? Non-abstract means concrete. And tell me, abstract to non-abstract. Overriding is allowed. Non-abstract to abstract. Overriding is allowed. Abstract as abstract also allowed. Non-abstract as a non-abstract also allowed. Always their own allowed. Okay, we need to think about next. Next, tell me. I'm taking native. Native means what? Observe. If you declare method as a native, this method logic is available in native language. It is a concrete method or abstract method? Concrete method. Looking like abstract method, but it is not abstract method. It's a concrete method. One second. Sorry. You cannot override final as a non-final. You cannot override final as a final. Sorry. Yeah, correct. I did mistake. Today, I'm not much active. If I do any mistakes, you need to correct me. Today, I'm not much active. Maybe I'll do some mistakes. So if I do any mistakes, correct me. Okay, static to static possible, non-static to non-static possible, but opposite not possible. Final to non-final, not possible. Non-final to final, possible. Final to final, not possible. Non-final to final, possible. Then abstract to non-abstract, possible. Non-abstract, abstract, possible. Abstract, abstract, possible. Non-abstract, abstract, possible. Only problem with static and final. Okay, then what the meaning of native? Please observe now. What the meaning of native? Native means we are informing to compiler software this method logic is not developed in Java syntaxes. We declaring it, but not developing in Java syntaxes. This method is developed in native language. Okay, native language of JVM. What the native language of JVM? C and C++. So that means background in the hard disk, we are developing some, C program, let's say A.C. Okay, in A.C, in A.C, in A.C, we are creating a function called void m1. Okay, we are creating function called void m1. In this function, now we are writing some logic. What are the logic required? That logic we are writing background in C language. C language. Okay, writing in C language. Okay, then this function, now we are going to link this function. We are going to link to this class A. How to link, sir? By using a concept called what? JNI. Okay, by using JNI. If you go to Google and search how to develop native methods in Java, okay, just search in the Google, you'll find a lot of articles. Just follow how to develop native methods in Java. You will understand it. Using JNI, we can connect Java methods to C functions. Let me ask a question. In Java, I need to develop some concept called pointers concepts. Let's say pointers based logic I want to develop. Is Java supporting pointers based language? Pointers based? Java doesn't support. Java doesn't support, right? So pointer. So, but I wanted to develop logic by using pointers. What to do? Declare method in Java and implement its logic in C and call that method from Java. That's it. Link them. Link them. Okay. If you require to develop some driver kinds of software in Java, then you have to develop logic in C and then call that logic of C, link that concept of C to Java. That's it. Okay. And tell me now. I hope you got clarity on what is a native method. A native method is a Java method that has a Java method. A native method is a Java method that has implementation in C language. Okay. Declaration is in Java, but the implementation is in C. Declaration is in Java, but implementation is in C. No, I don't want its implementation in C. As a subclass developer, I don't want that superclass method implementation in C. I want to develop that method in my Java only. Tell me, can I change native implementation to Java implementation? Can I change native implementation to Java implementation? Okay, yeah, it will be platform dependent. Pranav, your question is correct. If you take this method as a native, it will become platform dependent. Okay, it will become platform dependent. So then what should I do? What should I do? You must make the C program compiled for each operating system separately and you have to maintain. Your thought is correct. Your thought is correct. It's become platform dependent. Correct. Okay. Now then come to the point now. So if you plan to develop implementation is native, compulsory you have to maintain separate compiled code for each operating system. Okay, then now come to the point now. I don't want this logic as you are telling that it's become platform dependent. I don't want to make my subclass platform dependent. I wanted to override that method in the subclass to provide Java implementation. Can I change native method to Java method? Yes, we can change. Okay, next. Now superclass method is implemented in Java, but as per my project requirement, now that method logic must be in the native. Can I convert it to native? Yes. Okay, no problem, it is allowed to convert. Okay, you can convert however you want to provide implementation, you can provide. You want to provide in Java, provide. You want to provide in C, you can provide. Okay, non-Java languages, any non-Java languages you can use and convert. Then listen carefully here, one point. If you declare method as a abstract, we declare class abstract. Did you observe? If you declare method as a abstract, you declare class as a abstract. But if you declare method as a native, you no need to declare class as native. Okay, na? You no need to declare class as a native. Remember, abstract means this method don't have logic. This method doesn't have logic. Abstract means this method doesn't have logic because the class contain non-implemented method, it cannot be instantiated. To tell to compiler don't instantiate, we declare it as abstract. But now when you declare method as a native, it has logic. Where the logic is available in native. Okay, in native it's a concrete method. Native method is not abstract method. Native method is a concrete method, so it is allowed. No need to declare it as abstract or native, not required. So tell me what the point here. Now my super class method is native. Can I override subclass method as a native? Yes. Can I override subclass method as a non-native? Yes. Both are allowed. So I can override native as a native. I can override native method as a non-native. I can override not native method as a native, and I work on override non-native as a non-native. All four options are allowed. All four options are allowed. Okay, right. So only if you declare constructor, sorry, if only if you declare method as abstract, then only class abstract. Remaining keywords, remaining keywords are not required. If you declare method as a final, class no need to be final. Transient and volatile, both keywords are not allowed to method. Okay, transient and volatile not allowed to method. They are allowed to only variable. If you try applying transient and volatile, compiler throw error. Okay. Uh, for example, I'm writing transient. Compiler will throw error. Modifier transient not allowed here. I'm taking volatile. Compiler throw error. Volatile. The name itself is telling synchronized. The name itself telling synchronized, sync, sequential. Okay, I defined one method. Now that method logic I want to execute. Who will execute method logic? Tell me. JVM architecture chapter, all people know. Okay, come on, tell me. Tell me where the methods logics are executing. Inside thread, na main thread, right? Inside main thread, right? And tell me, like main thread, how many threads we can create in Java? Okay, Java is a multi-threaded programming language. You can create multiple threads. Now I created one method. Let's say deposit method I created. Now the deposit method trying to load in first thread, second thread. Okay, deposit method is loaded in first thread, also loaded in second thread. Now from both the threads, the deposit operation or withdraw operation trying to perform deposit or withdraw operation whatever on the same bank account object. Now tell me, threads are executed simultaneously. Simultaneously means what? Half deposit executed passed going here, second thread half deposit executed passed here, again coming here executed passed, again going there executed passed, again coming executed. Then tell me, if partially executing, then partially this object modifying, finally will get right results or wrong results? Wrong results. Then tell me, what is the correct model? I have two threads. What the correct model? I have two threads. Then tell me I have two threads. In both the threads, what happened? Deposit is loaded. Deposit logic is loaded. Then now both are trying to access the same bank account object. Okay, both are trying to access same bank account object. The moment when this deposit, this thread, let's say this is a, let's say thread one, and I'm calling this is thread two. For our understanding pronunciation purpose, I'm calling thread one, thread two. When a thread one got access to this bank account to deposit, okay, then tell me this object must be locked. This object must be locked, should not be available for, this object must be locked, this object must be locked, okay, put in a jail, and should not be available for other threads to access. If for example this a deposit operation running, somewhere it is passed, whenever it is passed, JVM will shift to another thread, then other thread not allowed to access. You must stop other thread to access. Okay, you must stop other thread to access. How can I do that? How can I do that? That you need to do by using the keyword synchronized. Simply you have to declare this deposit method as synchronized. Okay, simply you must declare this deposit method as synchronized. You must declare this deposit method as synchronized. When you declare deposit method as a synchronized, what happened? Both methods are, I mean the method loaded into multiple threads executing sequentially. Now other thread doesn't have chance to execute. The object is locked, other thread doesn't have chance to execute. So tell me what the use of synchronize. If you declare a method as a synchronize, then the method execution will be go sequentially from multiple threads. Everyone understand? Tell me, if we declare method as a non-synchronized, what happened? Method executed in multiple threads on same object sequentially or concurrently? Concurrently will be executed. Now my my requirement is I wanted to execute my method sequentially. As a super class developer, I thought of my logic want to execute sequentially from multiple threads. Then what I did, I declared the method as a synchronized. Then if anybody invoke this method by using my class A object, then the method executed from class A from multiple threads executed sequentially from one after one. Now, as a subclass developer, the logic available in super class, I didn't like. I want new logic. Then I am overriding. Can I override that method as synchronized? Can I override that method as synchronized? Yes. Then my logic also, if somebody call this A class M1 method by my B class object, my logic executed, my logic calls in multiple threads executing what? Sequentially. Okay. Now I found that this method not doing any modifications in the object data. Okay. The logic what I am writing, not modifying any object data, just it is reading the data available in the object, just it is reading or just it is checking, it is not doing any changes in the object. Bolo nana, when it is not changing any data in the object, what to do now? Synchronized keyword required or not required? Not required. Can I remove it? Can I remove it? Should I allow to remove or should not allow to remove? Should be allowed to remove. Now I am removed, right? Now I have removed it. Now allowed or not allowed? Allowed. So if you want to execute the overriding logic sequentially from multiple threads, have the synchronized keyword. If you don't want to execute your logic sequentially from multiple threads, concurrently you want it allowed to execute, your implementation want to execute concurrently, happily you can remove the synchronized keyword. It will work. Okay, super class method feeling that synchronization is not required because their logic is not modification logic. Their logic is normal logic. Synchronization not required. Hence, they have removed. But subclass programmer not liking the logic available in the super class. So he wanted to modify the logic. To modify his logic, he found that the logic required to execute concurrently, required to execute sequentially. Then what he's doing? Adding synchronized keyword. Is it allowed or not allowed? Allowed or not allowed? Allowed. No problem. Compile successfully. So finally, what you understand? Synchronized keyword. Superclass method is synchronized. In subclass, I want to override this method as synchronized. In subclass, I want to override this method as synchronized. Allowed? Allowed. Superclass method is non-synchronized. I want to override this non-synchronized method as a non-synchronized. Allowed? Allowed. Superclass method is synchronized. I wanted to override the method in subclass as non-synchronized. Superclass method is non-synchronized. I wanted to override that method in subclass as a synchronized. All are allowed. Am I confusing you? All are you comfortable by teaching these many points? Are you confusing, my dear confusing masters? If you have any confusion, please ask. Any doubts? Any doubts? Any confusions? Is this diagram understand? I hope. So how can we make the threads executing sequentially by declaring method as synchronized? If you don't declare method as synchronized, now by default the threads will the method executes in multiple threads concurrently. What is the use of volatile and transient? In a volatile will work in multi-threading chapter, transient will work in IO stream chapter. They are allowed only for variables. There I will explain. Let us don't deviate from the topic. Okay, let us don't deviate unnecessary. If I teach now, unnecessary deviating. Okay, I want you to remember only these 5-6 keywords. Other keywords I don't want you to talk. They are not allowed. That's it. Tell me now. Strict AFP. Next one is what? Non-strict AFP. What the meaning of strict FP? What the meaning of strict FP? The word itself is telling. Strict is a strict warden Suleiman. Akadamma Ikkadabbai movie. Did you watch Pawan Kalyan movie first day? First movie. Akadamma Ikkadabbai. Pawan Kalyan movie first movie. In that there is wonderful, powerful dialogue. Strict warden Suleiman. Koda Srinivasram. Okay. So strict FP stands for floating point. FP stands for floating point. If you declare the method as strict FP, if you declare method as a strict FP, now the floating point calculations you are doing in this method must strictly follow and do evaluations as per IEEE 546 stand. 546 or 547, some number is there. Strictly follow IEEE standards. Generally the floating point calculations after dot, number of digits are changing from one operating system to another operating system, one platform to another platform. Okay, floating point memory management is changing from one platform to another platform. So if you don't want you want to strictly maintain the same floating point results in all platforms, then you must declare the method as what? Strict FP. So if you declare method as a strict FP, what the meaning of it? The floating point calculations inside this method must perform calculations and generate result as per what? IEEE standards. That's it. So that's a simple point. Okay, I hope you got clarity. Then now the strict FP keyword, if I apply to this method, if you apply strict FP to this method, then superclass methodology performing floating point calculations as per the IEEE standards. The logics given in superclass I don't like. I want to change. Then what to do? Override. While overriding method, I am not caring about I'm not caring about IEEE standards and all. So then can I remove the strict FP? Yes, you are allowed. Okay. Now no, I wanted to follow it. Can I keep that strict FP as it is? Yes, you can. Can you be strict FP? Yes, allowed, no problem. Okay. Now super class method is a normal method. It's not following the IEEE standards, but I wanted to follow the rules in the subclass. Can I declare it as a strict FP? Yes, no problem. Can I remove it? Yes, no problem. Okay. I hope I'm able to make you understand all the points. So as I told you, the rules are only for, as I told you, the rules are only for two keywords, static keyword and final keyword. Static keyword and final keyword, only the rules. Remaining all keywords, however you wanted to modify, you can modify, no objection. Okay, please ask if you have any questions. If no questions, we'll go to next point. Which keyword is not allowed to variables? Logic related keywords are not allowed to variables. And tell me, which keywords are working on logic? Abstract is telling that logic don't write. Native is telling that write logic in C++. Synchronize telling that execute logic sequentially. Strict F is telling that calculate the logic as per IEEE standards. So the keywords which are talking on logic, then those keywords are not allowed to variables. Abstract, native, synchronize, strict FP, not allowed to variables. What variables are allowed to variables? Okay, static, final, transient, volatile, allowed to variables. That's why the order I have created the keywords, okay, for you easily understanding purpose: static, final, 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 native, abstract, and then side I created, right? Transient, volatile, synchronized, strict EFP. Okay. So what the reason I'm following this order? This is my own order. Okay. This order is not given by Sun Microsystem. So now I follow this order because to make you easily remember, these are top level 4 keywords only allowed to variables. And next, now these two keywords are special: static, final, native, transient, abstract. These keywords are allowed to methods. Okay. Okay. Satya Prakash, Satya Praveen, that is multi-threading chapter. Current chapter is what? Hmm? What the current chapter we are discussing? Ask the current chapter related question, Satya Prakash. Current chapter is related to method overriding. Okay, not to know about synchronized keyword. Just I give an idea to you. Right. These keywords we'll discuss in detail in the next coming chapters. Final keyword we have a separate chapter. Abstract has a separate chapter. Next, synchronized as separate chapter. Okay, there we will discuss. Now, next, my moving to the next point. Okay, so finally we completed rule number 2. What the rule number 2? Okay, in this particular section you are capable of fully understand only static. I told you, and remaining things also I touch all the points. I hope you understand maximum, right? So execution level modifier rule number 2: static we are not allowed to add or not allowed to remove. If you try to add or try to remove, compiler will throw error. Next, final modifier you can add but you cannot remove, means you cannot override final method in the subclass. Okay, then next, accessibility modifier, sir. Very interesting. Accessibility modifier is very interesting. Tell me, accessibility modifier of superclass must be same as in subclass. If a superclass method accessibility modifier is default, subclass should be default. Superclass is a protected, subclass should be protected. Superclass is public, subclass must be public. Okay, same is okay. Now, can I do any changes? Yes, you are allowed to do changes. What can I do? I can increase, but cannot decrease. So accessibility modifier must be same, can be increased, but cannot be decreased. Accessibility modifier must be same or can be increased, but cannot be decreased. If you try, compiler software will throw error. Why? Why? Now tell me, superclass is telling that my method can be accessible only within the within the package. That means what? Default. Then subclass programmer coming, I will override your method, but I don't want to allow anybody to access. Hey, that's wrong. Okay, that is wrong. Now further subclass is coming, right? Further subclass is coming. Class c extends b, open bracket, closed bracket. Tell me, when I write class c, okay, class c, now super class grandparent properties are taken by parent, and parent is telling that no, sorry, I don't give. Then grandparent can go and file a case on the parent. Do you know it? Grandchild, sorry, grandchild. Okay, so parent property, grandfather property taking by your parent, grandparent property taking by parent, not allowing to come to child. It is a crime. You can go and file a case against your parent. Grandparent properties are belongs to grandson, you know, right? Now if you directly declare as a private, that is wrong. Okay, you cannot decrease, you can increase. What is increasing? Now your son or your daughter will be very happy. Take your grandfather properties. Let me remove this. Okay, what? Take your grandfather properties and then come here and add some more protected. Add some more and allow me to take. Ah, super, wonderfully you happy. Okay, add some more public. Abbo, asa too much happy. Increasing is not a problem, but decreasing is problem. It's wrong. Catch my point? So increasing is not a problem, decreasing is problem. So now tell me, if a superclass method is default method, then subclass can be either default or can be protected or can be public. If a superclass method is protected, tell me what is allowed. Okay, currently I declared as a private. Compiler throwing error. Observe now, what error throwing? M1 in B cannot override M1 in A. Okay, attempting to assign weaker access privileges. Attempting to assign weaker access privileges was public. I told in the accessibility modifier chapter. Any of you remember? In accessibility modifier chapter, I told you The default accessibility modifier is default, but it is not really default. It is a package or package private. Did you remember? Default accessibility modifier is a what do you call a package or package private. I clearly told you that day. All right, look at there now. Compiler is talking to you. Look at that. Compiler is telling Babu attempting to assign weaker access privileges was package. Okay, was package default. Okay, all right. So then now I'm trying to take trying to take here protected. Okay, now I am trying to take private. Compiler throw error was protected. Changing to default. Throwing error was protected. Not allowed to change. Now I am trying to add same protected. Is it allowed? Yes. Protected allowed. No problem. Same is allowed. Now I'm increasing to public. Is it allowed? Yes, allowed. No problem. Compile successful. Now I am taking public. What is allowed? If I am take public, what is allowed? Only public allowed. Okay. Now I'm writing protected. Compiler throw error was a public. Now I'm taking default. Compiler throw error was a public. Now I'm trying to take private. Compiler throw error was public. Every point I'm clearly showing you. I hope you are understanding. Tell me now last point. Last point. If I take super class method as a private, tell me subclass overriding method accessibility modifier must be same or increase. Kada? Should be private or default or protected or public. Am I right? Hmm? If you declare it as a private, if I override super class method in subclass, tell me what happened? What happened? Tell me. Is there any compile time error? No compile time error. But is it considered as a overriding method? No. It is called no relation method. No relation method. Okay? You can override private method, but it is called no relation method. No compile time error. How can I prove it? Add static. Add static. Super class method is not static. If it is a overriding method, static is not allowed. Na? Look at there, no compile timer. Change return type to int and add some return keyword 5. No compile timer. So this proves that private method we cannot override in subclass. If we try to override private method in the subclass, no compile time error. It is considered as subclass one method. Hence we can change return type. You can change execution modifier, return type. Okay, anything you can do. I hope you understand. If interviewer asks a question, can I override private method? What you should answer? No, not possible. But if you override, no compile time error. Okay. Yuvraj, where are you, Babu? Why you are asking today all these type of questions? Already completed now these all discussions. Why you are again asking the today question? You are testing my patience here. If you override class A method in class B and C, then C class, which method overriding B class or A class? Already explained, na? Today wake up. In your childhood, having confusions, asking. Already explained, right? Last class. Multi-level inheritance type. Go and watch previous videos from the YouTube. Okay? So everyone understand, I hope? Overriding rules, three rules. Any doubts? Okay, everybody understand? Okay, now the next point is very important. Exception handling. exception handling related. Observe. I'm writing here throws. Throws I'm writing here. Mm, class not found. Class not found exception. Here I'm giving you just a basic idea. Okay. Here I'm giving you just a basic idea. Again repeating. I am telling you just a basic idea. Full details we'll discuss in exception handling chapter. Now, throws class not found exception. If you write like this is called exception handling related point. Control X. Super class method. Okay, let me remove this private. Take void. Return 5. Okay, tell me. Now void M1. No throws exception. Subclass is trying to override method without throwing exception. Any objection? No objection. Then there is a point, try to answer. Narrative management has promised you that if you join for training, faculty will not scold you, faculty will not beat you, faculty will, support you to teach all the subject. Okay. Now, faculty come, whenever you are doing any mistake, he's started beating you like anything. Are you happy? He's skipping the classes. Every 2-3 days, he is a bunk the class. Okay. Narrative management promised if you join for training, this is a training method, training, then now classes are regularly will be there. Classes are regularly will be there. Okay. So every point faculty will teach you. We will guarantee you for your job. Okay. A lot of blah, 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 lot of bullet points given to you. Then now the class B came into picture. Nothing but faculty came. Now training implementing. But what he's doing, he's not implementing as given promise. As given promise, not implemented. Okay. Now, what is going to talk? Faculty skipping all the concepts. Faculty, scolding you. Faculty, if you raise the question, beating you. Okay. All nonsense he's doing. Is it allowed or not allowed? Not allowed, right? Not allowed, right? It's not good, right? So now if you write throws exception here, super class is telling that we will not throw you any error, we will not throw you any exception. Then user class programmer believing it and Aram say he has written. Okay, Aram say is written. Then suddenly the exception coming from class B to class test class. Then program execution is terminated abnormally. Exception terminates the program, right? Terminated abnormally. So tell me, if a super class method not throwing an exception, subclass allowed to throw na, not allowed to throw na? Not allowed. Compiler will throw error. Bhai, super class method telling that it will not throw exception, but you are throwing not allowed. Okay, int B, M1 in B cannot override M1 in A because overridden method. What the meaning of overridden method? Super class method. Overridden method doesn't throw class not found exception. You are not allowed. Okay. Okay, fine. Now, already when you are taking admission, management told it is a school, it is not institute. Okay, it is a school, it is not an institute. Okay, it is a school. In school, while teaching, if you show your talent, teachers will beat you na, teachers will scold you na, until you do assignment, teachers will trouble you na, right? So now super class method is telling that if you are not working properly, then we will punish you, we will trouble you, we will throw exception. Clear? Management already given that. Tell me, because management telling that I will trouble you, should I trouble you in the subclass? I am the faculty, I am the teacher. As a teacher, I come to the school to train you. Then I don't trouble you, rather I will motivate you. I'll show some stories. I'll tell you some stories. I'll show you some good movies. Okay, I'll start motivating you. The movie called Tare Jamin Par. I love that movie, Tare Jamin Par. Okay, Tare Jamin Par. All faculties are beating the children like anything, scolding like anything. But Amir Khan came and trying to change the student mentality and creating interest on the subject and trying to make them learn. Okay. So if a super class is not throwing in, if super class is telling that I will throw exception, there is no rule that subclass should throw exception. Okay. Amir Khan, Harkrishna Khan, both are will never throw exceptions, will motivate you. Okay, in scoldings also motivation only will be there. Okay, I am scolding, but in the scolding also motivation will be there. Are you catching my point? Harkrishna Khan and HK Khan will be same. Tara Jaman per movie only I am implementing here. Okay, clear my point? So tell me, if a super class method throwing an exception, subclass no need to throw that exception, can ignore. Look at their compile successful. Compile successfully. Okay, got my point? So I'm repeating the points once again. If a super class method not throwing any exception, the subclass should not throw any exception. If a super class is throwing an exception, subclass can throw exception or can ignore that exception, no problem. Compile successfully. Next important point. If a subclass also decided to throw exception like other teachers other than Amir Khan, okay, now they are decided to throw exception, then whatever the instructions are given by the super class, those type of punishments only should give in the subclass. Sir, those type of punishments only allowed to give. No, I will implement new kinds of punishment and not allowed because management are ready to take all the further consequences. Na? For example, interrupted exception, another kind of punishment I am trying to give. Is it allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. Exception ante error. Exception means error, punishment only. So management told if a student is not listening to you, you give this kind of punishment. But a faculty, teacher, trainer has taken another kind of decision to give the punishment. Okay, he's trying to kill you. Okay, na? He's trying to torture you like anything. Okay, allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. Void M1 throws interrupted exception. Overridden method doesn't throw interrupted exception. Is this clear? So what is the rule? If a super class has a throws exception, what is the point number one? Subclass is allowed to exclude that, ignore that exception throwing. If it is decided to throw exception, should throw only super class exception. Only should throw super class. I mean super class throwing exception. You must not take your own exception, other exception, compiler throw error, or for example, this is a parent. Okay, currently interrupted exception is a sibling. Interrupted exception is a sibling, not allowed. Tell me, I'm taking exception, parent class. Allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. Exception is a super class. Overridden method doesn't throw exception. For example, I am taking here exception. And for example, I am taking their exception. And now in a subclass overriding time, I am throwing class not found exception. Is it allowed? Yes, 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 it is allowed. Okay, so why allowed? Because now here compiler software telling what? Okay, right, you must catch exception. Look at that, unreported exception must be caught or declared to be thrown. Okay, what super class is telling? You must catch exception. I am writing like this, right? Try exception handling chapter it is. You will not understand, don't say that's or not understanding, right? Just I'm writing the code, silently listen, that's it. Tell me now, here I need to write catch up. By seeing that super class, I am writing here exception exception E, exception E. Okay, then tell me, control will go to super class. From super class, it is coming to subclass. From subclass, what exception coming? Class not. Class not found exception is a subclass of exception. It can catch or not? Yes. So program terminated normally. Okay, if you reverse it, if you write it like this, and if you write here exception like this, what is the problem now? By seeing the super class, what exception you are trying to catch? Class not found exception. Class not found exception you are catching. Then execution time, what happened? Now, if we take the you go to A class, from the A class because of B coming to subclass, from subclass what is throwing? Exception. Is that exception can catch by subclass? Super class object can be stored by subclass variable? No. Already we know this point. So final conclusion, can you tell me? Final conclusion, tell me. Totally 3 points are there. Totally three test cases are there. Test case number one. If a super class doesn't have throws exception, then subclass not allowed to have throws exception. If a super class has throws exception, then subclass no need to write, subclass no need to write, or also can write. If you decided to write, then you should write only either same class or it's a subclass, same exception or subclass exception. Should not write a sibling or should not write super class. But we are allowed to write same class or sibling. You are same class or subclass allowed to write. So these are all the points related to exception handling. Okay, now all you understand exception handling related point. Please open material. Please open exception handling material. All these points are there in the material. Check once and practice now. If a method is said to be overriding method, then it should satisfy below 4 rules. Return type should be same as a super class method or should be covariant. Java 5 new feature. And tell me, class example, super class method is void. Subclass is void. Now this subclass is int, wrong. The next static method should not be removed or should not be removed or should not be added. Now this is a non-static. This is non-static, right? This is static, wrong. Added. Next method is static. Subclass non-static, wrong. Should be static. Now this is right. Accessibility modifier should be same as a super class method or it can be increased, but should not be decreased. Okay, should not be decreased. And then what? Now this is a default. Now I'm decreasing, error, increasing, no problem. Next focus. We cannot override private method because it is not inherited to subclass. If you override it in subclass, no compile time error, and it is not considered as overriding method. It is just considered as subclass own method. So this method can have its own return type, execution level modifier, and accessibility modifier. Identify is below method is overriding method, and is there any compile time error? Look at there, private. Superclass method is private. Subclass method is private. Okay. Now change it to private and added static. No problem. Compile successful because private method is not inherit their own methods. Then here you need to do small correction. Okay. Intentionally I left blank in your material. I left blank in your material. Okay. Now try to answer. The below table shows the allowed accessibility modifiers for the subclass overriding method based on superclass overriding methods accessibility modifier. Look at there, superclass method private, and then subclass allowed private default protected public, but there is no relation. Come on, in your material, please add this word. In your material, please add this material. Mr. Rahul Tiwari, it is not recorded video, it's a live class, Nana Bujji. Do you feel that it is a recorded? It's a live class. Do you have any doubts? Raise your question, I will answer. Rahul Tiwari, reply. Have any questions? Okay, all the people added, but no relation. We can change accessibility modifier, but no relation. Okay, the next default. What is the default? Default protected public. Okay, private is not allowed. Protected default, private default not allowed, protected public allowed. Public, private default protected not allowed, only public allowed. The next fourth rule, throws keyword. Throws class should not be added with the checked exception if a super class method doesn't contain it. Throws class should not be added with checked exception if super class method doesn't contain it. If a super class method contain throws class, subclass overriding method should contain throws class with the same exception class, or it's a subclass, or it can be removed. For more details on this topic, refer exception handling chapter. Okay, na? Everyone understand? So I have used a word called checked exception. Whatever the rule you are learn now, it is applied only for checked exception. So then immediate question, what is checked exception? What is unchecked exception? How can I find which exception is checked, which exception is unchecked? Refer exception handling chapter. There I will teach you. So overriding related points are completed. Okay, overriding related points are completed. Now we need to go for covariant return. Covariant spelling I hope wrong. Nana, this is not class, Nana, class. Throws class, not class. Swapna Neel Sahu. Maybe you are listening wrong. Throws class, not class. Okay? You are entered in the middle of the class. That's why you are confusing. Stay away from the class. Who asked you to continue? Did I ask you to continue, Mr. Swapnalil Sahu? Right? You are come in the middle of the class and telling that is confusing. That's your problem. Go back to the previous chat messages. Anybody is confusing? You only confusing yourself. Okay, because we are the number one confusing masters. So today is the first class you. It's become very famous, writing LOL, loud laughing. Bangar Kondra. So it's your keyboard, your hands, your brain. Whatever you like, you will write. Minimum common sense also not there above. This is a continuation chapter. Did you watch previous videos? Now, are you ready to go for covariant returns? So we completed method overriding all rules. Now let's move to the next topic. Java 5 new features added with respect to method override. Right? This is the last topic of method overriding. Now, what is the topic? Covariant. What is the meaning of covariant? What is the meaning of covariant? What is the meaning of covariant? Variant A only spelling correct? Okay. Covariant. What is the meaning of covariant? Same kind of object is called covariant. Co-employee, my co-friend. Okay, my co-friend. Okay, co-employee, co-friend we call na. Right. When I am absent, who will do your work? My co-employee, my co-colleague, my colleague will do. Right. Same way, covariant means, okay, covariant is nothing but subtype. Look at here. I'm creating a class called P. Okay. So I'm writing a class called P. And I'm writing class called Q, which is extending from P. I'm writing class called R extending from Q. I'm writing class as S, what do you call extends from P. So this is inheritance relation. What the inheritance relation? I have P, and P is extending from Q, okay, and R is extending from Q. This is inheritance relation. Following by, we have S. We have S. S is inheriting like this. Okay. So this is the inheritance relation we have written here. Then now try to answer. What are the covariants here? To the supertype, child is the covariant. Okay. To the supertype, child is the covariant. I already given example in multiple inheritance. In place of parent, I can send child, but in place of child, I cannot send the parent. Okay, in place of parent, I can send the child, but in place of child, I cannot send the parent. For example, no, I want, I know, I told you, okay, that example in inheritance, I don't want again go back. Just remember it. Again, it will take some 5 to 10 minutes, right? Now, just you concentrate on it, right? So, birthday party example I given, I don't want again go back to that. So, in place of parent, I can use a child, that is called what? Covariant. Right. Now, try to look at here. Now, I'm going to write return type is P. Return type is P. If the method return type is P, what I should write here? Return new P. Okay, return new P. So now, so this M1 method is returning P object. Next, as a subclass developer, I don't want to return P. I want to return a Q object. Then what you write? The return type is what? P only I should take. Then I am taking return Q object, return new Q object. Okay, return new Q object. Then try to answer now. What the story now? Class A, PM1, class B, return type PM1. Now I'm going to compile this program. Is it program compiled or not? Yes, successfully compiled. Executed or not? Executed, no problem. Now from it is what? Up to Java, up to Java, up to Java 4 version, the return type must be same. From Java 5 version onwards, you can change the return type to covariant. Covariant means related. Tell me now. In place of P, when I'm overriding, in place of P, can I take covariant? Who is the covariant of P? Subclass is what? Q. Tell me, am I allowed to return Q? Yes. Compile successfully. Up to Java 4 version, not allowed. From Java 5 version onwards, it is allowed. This concept is called what? Covariant. If the superclass method, if the overridden method return type is superclass, overriding method return type can be either same overridden method return type or can be subtype. It is allowed. Okay, this feature is called what? Covariant. Now look at this one definition. Look at this definition. Covariant returns is a Java 5 new feature. Using this feature, we can change overriding method return type to subclass of overridden method return type. For example, I'm taking class person, class student extends a person, class faculty extends a person. Now I have a class called college. College class contain a method called what? Get person. Get person method return type is a person. Okay, into college one person is required. Okay, come, no problem. Okay, but if you come to the exam hall, exam, I'm taking just for testing purpose, I'm writing class exam extends college. Don't say, sir, how exam is a college, sir, how exam is a college, sir. Don't worry too much, Babu, relations. Just for concentrate on the concept. Into exam, who is allowed to come? Into exam, student is allowed to come. Which type of person should come? Student type. In the class exam, now I want to override person to allow only student. Then I'm changing return type to student and changing returning object to student. So now this changeability feature is named as what? Covariant. So overridden method return type is person, which is the superclass type. Overriding method return type is a student, which is subclass type. This feature is called covariant. Everyone understand? Got clarity? Okay, now you need to ask some questions. Tell me, when you are listening this, when you are listening these covariant returns, you must visualize what throws exception only, na? If a super class method exception type is a class not found exception, subclass type must be only class not found exception or it's a subclass. Tell me, exception handling topic is related to covariant returns only, na? Okay. So I hope you got clarity on covariant returns. Now, look at here. Take screenshot of the slide. Take screenshot of the slide. Okay. Now, a small announcement. Okay, small announcement. Last time you have login with the core Java link now. Before last week I given you new link, right? One link I given you, right? 6 p.m. batch, 9 a.m. batch, 6 p.m. and combined, right? Yeah. Due to some technical problems, so we are unable to give the live stream from tomorrow. Clear my point? Due to some technical issues, tomorrow onwards, we're unable to give you live stream. Okay. So you try to log in with that old link tomorrow onwards. You will get a mail. You will get a mail. Look at there. Did you receive? Yeah. You receive link na? Please take that link. Use that link and try to log in from tomorrow. Due to some technical problem, we're unable to give you the link, streaming from tomorrow, YouTube. So we are going back to don't sleep, Arvind. You are sleeping. Okay. Okay. I'm sharing it. Check once. Last time already you have logged in, na? Look at that. I given you all. Sharing the link to all. Check once. Everyone received? Huh? Don't share this link to outsiders. Okay. If anybody groups or anybody asking you, please give me the link. Tell them, give my number, ask them to contact me. I'll check their ID cards and I'll give. Because link getting problem, so strength will get problem, right? Your place will not be there. You lost your place. If somebody joined behalf of you, it's 2 p.m. also streaming will not be there. Okay. So 9 batch students who are listening from the what you call YouTube live. So you will get updated mail. Last time you have registered, na? Okay, you have registered, right, last time. So that from there, from the Google, from the Zoom, you will get updated mail. Please go and check your Gmail account. Okay. Okay, fine. Now let's move to the next story. So now observe here. So finally, what the story now we are learning? Covariant returns topic. You first idea you got. Now I want to tell the reason behind this feature. Why this feature is required? If the feature is not there, what is the problem? Reason behind these features. Okay. Reason behind these features. What the reason behind this feature? Try to observe. In a main method, if I take an P here, if this feature is not there, 1.4 version style I'm going to develop. If this feature is not there, what is the problem? Observe. Tell me, I want to call B reference, B1 equal to new B. There are 2 points you need to conclude. Point number 1, why this feature, reason behind this feature you should know. And second, you should also know, is it really a useful feature or not? Okay. Always, is it a useful feature or not useful feature also you should conclude. When it is useful, when it is not useful, when it is giving benefit, when it is not giving benefit, all points you need to realize. Okay, check carefully. Now I created b1 equal to new b, and I'm calling b1 dot m1 method. Now tell me, method is executed from which class? M1 method. No parameter M1 method trying to execute from B class. In B class, what is the object coming out? What is the object coming out? Object coming is q object. Okay, object coming is q object. Then now I am going to write here q1 equal to b1 dot m1. Bolo, is it allowed? Q1 equal to b1 dot m1 I have written. Is it allowed? Is it allowed or not allowed? What compiler will verify? What compiler will verify? What compiler will verify? Compiler will verify the method return type is what? Method return type is P. Compiler will not see what is inside the returning object. It will verify only what the return type. Return type is P. Okay, return type is P. So P cannot be assigned to Q. Compiler throwing error. Incompatible types P cannot be converted to Q. Okay. Next problem. Tell me now. Is this program, is this line readable to the user programmer? Oh no. Now P1 equal to what you write B1 dot M1 I should write. If I write P1 equal to B1 dot M1, what happened? What happened? No compile time error. But is it easy understandable to the user programmer? Is it, I mean, some new fresher, new beginner has seen this code. He confusion na, array returning object is Q by why you are assigning to P? We have spent a lot of time to make you understand it. Are you catching my point? I spent a lot of time to make you understand compiler feeling, JVM feelings lot. Now compiler is throwing error. Now not throwing error. Okay, but now the second problem is I want to read the p variable value system.out.println. Okay, system.out.println. From the m1 method, returning object is what? Q object. In the Q object, Q class members available na? Q class member is what? A. P class member is A. Q class member is what? B. I am writing P1 dot A and I'm writing P1 dot B. P1 dot A, P1 dot B. I'm writing control 1. Compiler throwing error, cannot find symbol variable B. Second problem. Okay, variable P1 of type P. Second problem. Tell me, the code is less code is increasing. Code is increasing. Then what I need to write now? I have to go for typecasting. What I should write? Q1 equal to Q of P1. Okay, number of lines of code is increasing. Then I should write what here? Q1 dot B. Now no compile time error and no runtime error, executed successfully, output coming 10 and 20. But now whenever you use the type cast operator, there is a chance we'll get an exception called class cast exception. Tell me, in the M1 method body, now the Q variable changed to R. Any problem? In a M1 method body, now somebody has changed Q object to R. Can R is a subtype of P na? Can it be written out or not? Yes. Q, R is a subtype of Q. Q is a subtype of P. Then R can go via Q. No problem. Any compile time error? No. Now the coming object is what? R. Inside R, we have R variables, and we have Q variables, and we have P variables. All superclass to subclass all are there. Then tell me now the Q variable, from this method, from this M1 method, R object is returned to here and stored in a P variable. Then P variable is pointing to which memory? Come on, type of the variable. P memory. P variable, right? You know, right? P variable pointing to P variable. Then next, now further you typecasting that P to whom now? P to whom now? Q, and store in the Q variable. Then tell me Q variable is pointing to which memory? Q variable point to which memory? Q memory. Any problem? No problem. Successfully compiled, successfully executed, and now the A variable available in a P memory, the B variable available in the Q memory are reading and displaying. Will get output. Will get output. Will get output. What? 10 and 20. No problem. So if the returning object is either cast operator type or it's a subtype, no problem. But now in place of R, now what the another thing? Yes. Now yes, I have taken. Tell me, S is a subclass of P, but it is not subclass of Q. S is a sibling of Q. Tell me now the coming object from that M1 method is what? Yes, can be stored in P. Tell me in S object what is there? S object contain S memory and contains what? P memory, and contains parent class object memory. Now S object is written from this method and stored in the P variable. Then P1 variable pointing to which memory? P1 variable point to which memory? Class P. Class P. It is pointing to class P. Then tell me Q1 equal to Q of P1. Now typecasting. What is coming from P1? Yes. In S memory, in S object, is a Q memory available? No. Cannot point into anyone. Then it is coming on throwing. JVM throwing exception. What? Class cast exception. JVM throwing class cast exception. Class cast exception coming. So code is increased, and we got one compile time error, one runtime error. Just think, okay, typecasting problems are there. Typecasting problems are there. Number of lines of code is increasing, and the typecasting problems are there. Then what to do? Before typecasting, I must verify the object in the P1 variable is type what? Q or not? Instance of Q or not, we have to verify. Okay, you have to verify, and then now you have to do what? The typecasting, copy paste, right? Tell me now class cast exception will come or will not come? Will not come. Control 1, compile successfully. Okay, cannot find symbol P1. Okay, P1 now compile successfully and executed successfully. Only 10 is coming. Class cast exception will not come. If you go on to change the object to R here, if you change the object to R here, then what happened? Control 1, control 2, 1020 will come. If we change to Q also, no problem, 1020 will come. If we change it to P, no compile time error. Only 10 will come, 20 will not come. So if the method return type of the super class only if you take in the subclass, if you are not allowed to modify, the return type of the method in the subclass, then what happened? Tell me now. 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 This many lines of code you are not allowed to assign. Problem number 1. Okay. Now we have a problem number 1. Problem number 1. We cannot assign the returning object to its own variable. Next, problem number 2. Okay, you have to assign to super class variable, return type variable super class. If I store in super class variable, problem number 2. What the problem number 2? What the problem number 2? Now we cannot access subclass specific members. We cannot access subclass specific members. Okay, then if you want to access subclass specific members, you have to do typecasting. If you typecasting, we will get problem number 3. Problem number 3. Problem number 3. What is the problem number 3? There is a chance we'll get class cast exception. And finally, the code is not readable. Problem number, final conclusion, problem number 4. Problem number 4. Code is not readable. Code is not easy to understand. So this is the problem. To overcome all these typecasting problems, in Java 5 version, 2 features are given: generics and number 2, covariant. Covariant for overriding methods, generic for collections. Repeating again, to overcome this typecasting problems. To overcome these typecasting problems, we got two features in Java 5 version. First one is what? Covariant returns for overriding methods, and the second one is what? Generics for collections. And tell me, if the same lines of code, if you develop with the covariant returns, what is the advantage? Come on. You try to apply the advantage and tell me. Apply covariant returns and tell me the advantage. What the advantage? If you are allowed to change return type to Q here, if you are allowed to change return type to Q here, then you are returning Q object. Okay. Then do I need to write all this blah blah code? No. This much heavy code, no need to write. Simply what you write? Q1 equal to P1 dot M1. Sorry, B1 dot M1. Okay, and then you call just two lines of code. System dot out dot println of Q1 dot A and then Q1 dot B compiled successfully, executed successfully, output coming 10 and 20. Just look at there. How many lines of code is there? And here how many lines of code is there? And is it understandable or is it understandable? Everyone understand, I hope? So if covariant returns is not there, what is the problem? If covariant returns is not there, what is the problem? Okay, right. So now you are writing exam E equal to new exam. Then get student method return type is what? Person. You cannot assign to subclass student. Compiler throw. Even though returning object is student, you cannot, because it is coming out as what type? Person. To solve this problem, you must assign to superclass variable. You cannot access subclass specific members. And the next, you have to do typecasting. If you do typecasting, there is a chance we'll get class cast exception. To overcome that class cast exception, you have to go for in instance of operator, number of lines of code increasing. So tell me, what the problems without covariant return feature? Up to Java 1.4 version, we don't have covariant returns. Hence, user program must develop excess code, that is, returning object must be assigned to superclass reference variable, cannot access subclass, cannot access subclass specific members. Okay, cannot access subclass specific members, cannot access subclass specific members, right? And then next, to access subclass specific members, returned object must be typecast to its own type, hence class cast exception may rise. Because of this excess code, program is not readable and it is not easily understandable to the beginner. These are the problems. Then what the benefits of covariant return feature? Covariant return feature will give benefits to the user class programmer. Using this feature, user class programmer can assign method call directly to returning object type reference variable, can access all non-private members from both return object class and its superclass. No need to downcast, and then we can never get class cast exception. Final code is more readable and understandable, short code, less code. Okay, take screenshots without covariant returns. What is the problem? Take screenshots. 1 2 3 benefits of covariant returns, problems without covariant returns. Okay, is it completed? Okay, now you understand the benefit of covariant returns, but you need to realize one point. Is this really useful feature? in projects. For practice purpose, it's okay. It's a benefit. It's giving benefit. Now let me go back to the test case. Sir, if we change it to R, any problem? No problem. R is subclass of Q. Type checking is done by compiler. Now you change it to S. Allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. Earlier we got class cast exception, but now no class cast exception. Compiler itself throw error here because return type is Q. You cannot return S. Incompatible types S cannot be converted to Q. Earlier we got exception. Now we got compile time error. Is this clear? Now, is it really beneficial? Tell me, whenever you are assigning a method call to a subclass type referenced variable, whenever invoking a member by using subclass type referenced variable, this program become tightly coupled, na? Sir, no. This program become tightly coupled. It will work with only Q type objects, cannot work with S type. Because currently P is having two hierarchies, Q hierarchy and S hierarchy. Now if you take the reference variable Q, then it will work with only Q hierarchy objects, but it cannot work with S hierarchy object. Then what to do? You must take variable PP1 only. If you want dynamic binding, you have to take PP1. If you want loose coupling, you want dynamic coding, then PP1 equal to, what do you write? B1 dot M1 only you should write. If you write P1 dot B1 dot M1, tell me the complete all four problems come back. Okay, complete four problems come back. You have to write full code. Okay, full code need to develop. So covariant return will give benefit only when we are planning to invoke method by using subtype members, not with a super type. If you plan to store subtype object in super type, covariant return is not useful. So now complete chart. Okay, difference between, okay, you can see here complete code without covariant returns, with covariant. Okay, it's with covariant. It is with covariant. Okay, with covariant you can see this complete code. This is not readable and this is readable, but it is not useful concept for dynamic binding. Take screenshot. Take screenshot. Next concept, look at here. This program will give you clarity. Right. So now I'm taking conduct exam. To conduct exam into this method, college should come. Via college, maybe exam student may come. College is a subtype of exam. Okay. Now from the exam, get person student may come. Now college is subclass, superclass of invigilation. To do invigilation, the get person is what? Faculty. Maybe coming person, maybe student, maybe faculty. So you have to call, you have to take common type. College C. When you take college C, when you call C dot get person method, compiler software searching for get person method in which class? College class. In college class, the available return type is what? Person. I have to take return type is what? Person. And the passing object into the college variable may be exam or maybe invigilation. If you pass exam, the coming object is student. If the pass invigilation, coming object is what? Faculty. All are catching my point? So you need to develop the instance of operator code as usual as early. So the heading is what? No use of covariant written in the project, because in the project we need to develop what type of project? Dynamic binding. When dynamic binding means methods are always called by using superclass referenced variable. If you call by using superclass referenced variable, then there is no use of covariant returns. But still, even though you don't require covariant returns, you must develop. When you're returning student object, take student. If you're returning the faculty object, take faculty. So that what happened, what the advantage will get, if anybody don't want a dynamic binding, he can write the code directly, na? He can write code directly and make it simplified. Take screenshot. Take screenshot. Okay. So next point. This is all the points related to covariant returns. Okay. Then this is the basic idea. I hope everyone got clarity. Now this is a main method class. You can also take screenshot for passing objects and test this program. Next, what are the rules on covariant return? Covariant return, overriding method return type must be only subclass of overridden method return type. It means it must not be either superclass or sibling. Get person return type is person. Now, exam class can have return type person or what? Same type student or what? Object. No, not allowed. Or what? String. Not allowed. Only person or student. Subtypes only allowed. Supertype and siblings not allowed. The next very important point, covariant return concept is only applicable to applied to referenced data type. That is what? Array, array, class, interface, enum, annotation. It is not allowed to apply to primitive data types, byte, short, int, long, float, double, char, boolean. So if you try to use these data types, compiler will throw error. Long to int, long is higher type, int is subtype. If you try to change, compiler will throw error. Take screenshot. Look at this program and tell me what is the output. What is the output of this program? SA method. Wonderful. Okay, you call e1.test process. Control will go to example class. You found a test process method is a non-static method. Then you are searching for that method in current object class sample. Now in sample class available, output is SA method, right? Very good, very good. Carefully look at there. Carefully look at there. Are you seeing any difference? I zoomed. Okay, carefully look at there. Are you seeing any same? Hmm? Java, case sensitive. Small p not considered as a capital P. Capital P not considered as a small p as you like. Output is wrong. It is not sample main. It is executed from superclass. Output is example method, ex method. Why? It's a name is different. In a company, many of the times developers are facing this problem. I also one among them. In java.lang.object class, we have a method called hash code method. So while I am writing that method in company, generally once you are habituated with full typing, you don't use Eclipse shortcuts. You will wish to type everything. You can ask any software engineer. Okay, you can ask any software engineer. In training time only, we will motivate you use shortcut. But once you habituated, typing, you don't like to depend on the Eclipse. You only keep on typing complete code. So in that process, what I did, hash code method I typed. In the process of typing, I type hash code C small letter. Hash code is capital letter H small letter C capital letter. But unfortunately, I have written C small letter. Then later, now this object is adding to collections. When I'm adding collection, the duplicate object should not add, but duplicate object is adding. Why it is adding? Almost I was breaking my head like anything. And finally, I found it is a cap small c I have given. That's why this method is not executing. It took a lot of time for me to find the problem. Everyone understand? So this type of small silly mistakes causes lot of time to consume to overcome this overriding signature typing problem. Okay, to overcome the signature typing level problem, what Sun Microsystem did, they have given one special concept called at the rate override. One annotation is given called at the rate override. If you mark this method as at the rate override, then compiler will verify this method signature is the same as one of the methods available in superclass methods signature. And tell me, if you write at the rate override here, we are informing to compiler, now this method is a overriding method compiler. If I do any mistakes, please throw me error. That is the information you are giving to compiler. Then compiler immediately verifying test process method signature is same as available method in the superclass. No, then it will come and throw compile time error. Okay, let me show you this. Is it a beneficial feature? Is it beneficial feature? Look at there. Now I am writing here small p. If you write small p, no error, but executed from superclass. Executed from class A. Executed from class A. Then tell me, what is the solution to this problem? I am adding at the rate override. Okay, and small p only I am writing. Then let's see compiler warning me or not. Yes. Then tell me the problem is solved at what time? Runtime or compilation time? Compilation time only. The problem is solved at compilation time only. Method doesn't override or implement a method from super type. Okay, this example test process. This is an exact example I have taken from Sun Microsystem given specification. Java 5 features to explain. Sun Microsystem has given this method test process. I don't want to show my talent. I taken exactly same method, same example I have taken to explain you. Okay. So I experienced this problem with the hash code method, and Sun Microsystem given example only I have taken and given to you explanation. Tell me now. From Java 5 version onwards, okay, I change the small p to capital P. Now output will be properly coming. Compile successfully, executed, output coming, executed from class B. Okay, let me change this name as per material. Example. Okay, SA method. Okay, now the question, try to answer. Now I am removing this at the rate override. Is it a overriding method or not? Come on, tell me. Is it a overriding method or not? Hello, at the rate override is just a marking, telling that this is a overriding method. Then compiler definitely guaranteely checking. If you don't write at the rate override, if you are maintaining same signature, compiler and JVM consider this method as what? Overriding method executed from subclass. If you change the method signature or parameter, compiler doesn't throw error. Because you didn't tell to compile it is a overriding method, compiler feeling it is a subclass one method. If you want to get compile time error, then place at the rate override. Then if you do any mistake here, either via parameter, either via method wise or via parameter wise, some added int a, then compiler will throw error. So at the rate override, not forcing, okay, at the rate override is given only to inform to compiler it is a overriding method. So if you maintain the same signature as superclass method, at the rate override not required. Okay na? Okay na? Got clarity at the rate override feeling? Okay, wonderful. Right. In which version this concept is given? In which version this concept is given? Java 5 version, yeah. These are Java 5 new features. Java 5 second feature in overriding, that is at the rate override. Okay, tell me, what is at the rate override? At the rate override is a marker annotation defined in Java 5 version. It is a marker annotation because it's only meant for marking, informing. Okay, informing, marking. At the rate override is a marker annotation defined in Java 5 version. It is used for specifying the method in the subclass is a overriding method of one of the methods available in superclass. If you apply at the rate override annotation to any method, this method signature means method name and parameter must be equal to one of the methods available in the superclasses. Else the compiler will throw error. Okay na? If the method name or parameter type or parameter list or parameter or is different from the method available in the superclass, then compiler will throw error saying it is not a overriding method. Take screenshot. Take screenshot. Take this program. Take this screenshot. Okay now? If I change the parameter P to capital, no problem. Compile successfully, output is coming. The flow will be the same. Take this screenshot. Okay, fine. Now tell me, what is the advantage of at the rate override? If at the rate override is there, not there, what is the advantage? Look at this class A. Which method is overriding method? Which method is not overriding method? Can you confirm? We cannot confirm because I have to see the class A. If class A, if I see, then I can confirm. Okay, now I am giving class B like this. Then tell me, can you confirm which method is overriding, not overriding? Yes. M1 method is overriding method. M3 method is overriding method. Tell me, what about M3, M2 method? Is it overriding or not overriding or cannot say no? Overriding or not overriding or cannot say no. M2 method, M2 method, M2 method. Some people not understand. At the rate override is not meant to tell it is a overriding method. If you write at the rate override, it is guaranteedly overriding. If you don't write at the rate override, it may be, may not be. That's what I'm telling Rababu, sleeping fellows, Gajni fellows. Remove at the rate override here. Tell me, is it a overriding method or not? Some people are telling not overriding, Tumbri fellows. Brain, where you are putting your brain? I already mentioned that point. You write at the rate override, not we write at the rate override, no problem. Yes or no? If a signature is same, it is considered as overriding method. Backward compatibility. What is the meaning of backward compatibility? What is the meaning of backward compatibility? Up to Java 14, up to Java 1.4, however the language has working, same way should work with Java 5 also with the new edition. If I don't write at the rate override, it cannot be a overriding method. It's not happen. If the signature is same, then it will be considered as a overriding method, compiled successfully, executed from subclass. If you write at the rate override, then compiler is, you inform to compiler You inform to compiler, it is a overriding method. If I do any mistake, throw me error. This is only for getting error, not for making its overriding. Now if I remove this capital P to small p, is it a overriding method? Compiler will verify. We informed it is a, please consider as a overriding method. Then compiler checking this method is overriding the superclass or not overriding throwing error. Only for compilation checking purpose only, to finding our mistakes at compilation checking time only. At the rate override annotation. If I remove this at the rate override annotation, any compile time error? No. Compiler consider as a subclass one method and method is executed from superclass. What are you listening, Rabbi? Tell me, M2 method, overriding or not overriding or cannot say na? Cannot say. If signature is same, it is a overriding method. If signature is different, not overriding method. Tell me, M1 method is a definitely overriding method? Again, no. If not overriding method, compiler throw error. You placed at the rate override and you are guaranteeing it's a overriding method. If you maintain the different signature, then compiler throw error. M3 method, you write at the rate override and you are overriding. If you do any mistake, compiler will throw error. In M2 method, if you do any mistake, compiler will not throw any error. Okay? Wake up. Take slide. Take screenshot. Now tell me, when you join in advanced Java, okay, or join in a Spring Boot, there are so many methods are overriding. At the time of overriding, faculties will write definitely at the rate override. Why they are writing? Faculties will write definitely at the rate override. Why they are writing at the rate override? For overriding purpose. Only to inform to compiler it is a overriding method. If I do any mistakes, please throw error. And tell me, because of at the rate override, we are not only talking to compiler, we are also talking to other programmer. Now your code developer can easily find, oh, it is a overriding method. Now you are having a ID card in your okay. No, when you are come to offline classes, you bought the notes. Now in your hand, Naresh IT notebook is there. In your hand, my textbook is there, Core Java with SEJP and JVM architecture. The textbook is there. By seeing the covers in your hand, people can identify you are a Naresh IT student of Harikrishna. So that cover is what? At the rate of override. If you not carrying the book silently with empty hands, you are coming, then people can identify you are a Naresh IT student. No. Can people identify you are a Harikrishna student? No. So by taking at the rate override, we are giving information to compiler and other programmer. This method is a overriding method. And it is not the rule that you must add at the rate override to the overriding method. If you don't write at the rate override to the overriding method, compiler will consider as a subclass one method. Compiler considers maybe overriding method or maybe subclass one method. If signature is same, consider the subclass if signature is same, consider as a overriding. If signature is different, then consider as what? Subclass one method, but doesn't throw any error. Other programmer also same feeling. Then he will look at the superclass. First he has to look at the superclass to find the method is overriding method or not. This is the program, first program, right? So here programmer compiler don't have information. Whereas here compiler and programmer has a information about developer feeling that M1, M3 method he want as a overriding method. So this is only for giving some additional information to the compiler and other programmer saying that this is a overriding method. If I do any mistake, please throw error. So please wake up. Please wake up. In advanced Java or in Spring Boot, Hibernate, if faculties are writing at the rate override to the method, don't feel that it is a mandatory. It is just giving information to compiler and me that this method is a overriding method. Your faculty is a developer. You are the other developer watching. Okay. In future, you are using that code. Now, rule on at the rate override. Tell me, what the use of at the rate override? At the rate override is used for marking a method is A method is what? At the rate override is a method is meant for marking. It is a overriding method. That's all. Tell me, can I use at the rate override wherever I like? Can I apply this annotation? Can we apply this annotation to any programming element? No, you cannot. If you try compiler, throw error. Look at there. I'm applying at the rate override to a class example. Allowed or not allowed? I'm applying at the rate override to the class. Allowed or not allowed? Not allowed, because it's not a overriding method. I'm applying at the rate override to a variable. Variable comes under overriding? No. Constructor comes under overriding? No. Static method comes under overriding? No. So if you apply at the rate override to class or variable or constructor or static method, compiler will throw error. Tell me, can I apply at the rate override to non-static method? Yes, if it is a overriding method. We can apply to non-static method if it is a overriding method. Okay, now tell me here. Compiler throwing error, not allowed here, not allowed here, not allowed here, not allowed here. Even though static method you are overriding, the static method not comes under overriding, so not allowed here. Compiler throw error. Then tell me, to the M2 method allowed, because it's a overriding method. To the M3 method not allowed. Now the compiler throwing error. What the time now? 8:30. Now here compiler throwing error. Compiler throwing error. What the compiler throwing error here? Not allowed or not overriding method? Compiler throwing error, not overriding method. It is M3 method is not overriding. That's why throwing error. To the non-static method it is allowed, but it is a not overriding method. Clear my point? So this is a very important point about overriding method, overriding annotation. Take screenshot and test all these points in your system clearly. Compiler throw error, verify yourself. Okay, so now we need to understand project. Okay, we need to understand polymorphism based project. So tomorrow we will try to understand complete project. Okay, tomorrow we'll try to understand project. So overriding, what the benefit of overriding, what is the dynamic binding. So clearly I'm going to explain every point, including overriding, overloading, everything. So don't miss tomorrow class. Tomorrow class is very important class. And tomorrow live stream will not be there. People who wanted to learn continuation to the next one, okay, please contact our administrator and he will give you the link by checking your ID card. If you have ID card, you can continue. And this is the administrator number. Many times I shared you. One more time I am sharing. Where is that number? This is a Nagbabu number, our class admin. If any of you wanted to continue remaining syllabus, okay, you can join to the class directly to Zoom link. Okay, so now polymorphism completed. Now on the polymorphism we need to learn project. So we are going to learn project tomorrow, and following by we are going to learn overloading chapter entry questions also. Right. So tomorrow you have 4 o'clock batch for collections. So 2 o'clock I'll share you the link. At 2 o'clock I'll share you the link. 4 o'clock batch is there. At 2 o'clock I'll share you the link. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye.